Welcome to Shentertainment presents Making It in the ATL, where we highlight those making big moves right here in Atlanta. The Atlanta fashion industry has a unique identity compared to traditional fashion capitals like New York, Paris, or Milan. Beginning a career as a fashion designer in Atlanta means stepping into one of the fastest growing creative hubs in the country, where Southern charm meets global influence. With Atlanta's rich diversity and deep connection to the music, film, and entertainment industry, emerging designers can tap into a dynamic market that values bold creativity and unique storytelling. We are so excited to have one half of the most exciting, globally emerging fashion brands in the country, Jeofroi, Jeofroi Taylor. Jeofroi is the creative director and co-founder of Jeofroi, an evening wear and couture label rooted in elegance. He is a graduate of Savannah College of Arts and Design. His work has been seen in Essence Magazine, Teen Vogue, and Women's Daily. Also shown on The Sherry Shepherd Show. He was also honored with the Fashion Design Awards, IDA, and received the IDA Haute Couture Women's Award. Jeofroi, thank you so much for being here today.
Of course, yes.
I'm so happy you decided to sit down with us and talk about your fashion career, how you got it off the ground, all of that good stuff. Okay?
Yes, thanks for having me.
All the tea.
Yes.
Okay. So, at what age did you know you were interested in fashion?
Well, if I can say when I was in my mom's belly, that was possible. But I think maybe when I was around 5 years old, when I first got a coloring book that I can really comprehend what was in the coloring book. And I remember there were little princesses with the kings, and I started to play around with coloring the dresses a different color. And I think around that time Cinderella came out with Whitney Houston and Brandy, and I was so mesmerized by the movie, and I was like, what is this? What are those beautiful gowns? And then shortly after that, my mom bought me the movie, and I watched it every single day. And then I kind of put two and two together, I think I want to make dresses, or I want to either sketch or just make things for beautiful princesses, you know? And then a little bit more deeper into that, my sister and her little dolls, I would make little dresses out of tissue for her. And I was like, is this something that I can do? And then going to elementary school, still sketching, middle school, sketching even more. And then I found a teacher that was a part of the home economics. I think it was the course, and then she was a fashion designer. And then from there, do you remember Miss Boulder?
I do.
Yeah, so from there.
I remember Miss Boulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember she used to host a fashion show every single year, so I ended up being a little understudy for her, and I would sketch little things, and then she turned two of my creations into reality. I think from there, I was like, I definitely want to be a fashion designer. And then high school came about, and they brought in a fashion design program our senior year in high school.
I remember.
And I was the leader of that. I was I'm going to take that, run with it, and have fun with it. And then shortly after that, I started applying to different schools, and I ended up going to school for fashion design. So to kind of give you a full run through of that.
Do you remember your first design?
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know if you remember, but this was in middle school. Remember the shirt? I cut out the letters of my name and I hand stitched it on the back of a white shirt. That was probably my very first design.
And you didn't know, you knew how to sew, but not on a machine.
No, I used to lie and say that, I know how to sew on a machine. That's easy. Anybody can do that.
Right.
But I don't think it was till my junior year of high school where my dad bought me my first sewing machine, and then I was able to really start playing around with it.
So you taught yourself how to sew?
Yes.
Okay, so you didn't learn that in school?
No. Well, college for sure.
Right.
But beforehand,
you were self-taught?
Yes.
I know that's right. Okay. So for those thinking about going to school for any type of arts or fashion design, what was your determining factors to go to SCAD? Did you look at other schools? What was that whole process like?
So originally I was going to go to school in LA to FIDM.
Okay.
I got a 75% scholarship where they would cover all the tuition, all of that. However, my parents were still pushing you need to apply to SCAD. I was like, it's too close to home. I've been here for 12 years and on, so I want to get away from you guys. And then also just to kind of get out of the South with fashion, because I think the South, is really good when it comes to fashion, but like the new, like ongoing, like edginess that fashion has sometimes is
Right.
a little bit outside of the South because we're very comfortable here.
Mm.
So I wanted something to kind of really like just push me on what I was already doing. So I applied to FITM, got the scholarship.
Mhm.
2 weeks before I was leaving,
Mhm.
I got a phone call from a representative from SCAD saying, "Hi, we received your application. We just want to let you know that we're going to offer you this amount of money, this, that, and the third." And it was a lot more than
Right.
what FITM was going to give me. And I
Right.
was like, I do not want to tell my parents this because if I do, they're going to be like, you got to go to SCAD. So
Right.
long story short, I ended up going to SCAD.
Mhm.
I got all of like my on mission things 3 days before the school year started. So it was
Mm.
like a last minute thing because I was already planning to go to FITM.
Right.
And then I ended up at SCAD. So that process was very tedious.
Mhm.
You had to have like 3 letter recommendations from like people in the art.
Mhm.
You had to have an instance of portfolio from just like the beginning up until like your senior year of high school. And you just
Mm.
had to like have an idea and image of like where you wanted to be as an artist because
Right.
SCAD is a very it's a very, let's see, I don't want to say the wrong word, but it's a very amazing school. I'll just say that.
Mhm.
It's a very challenging school as well. You have to know what you want to do in order to succeed at SCAD. They give you the resources, but you have to have individuality to
Mhm.
get you to the next point. So,
Mm.
going to a school like that, it was very tough but challenging, but in a good way. I was able
Right.
to kind of hone like my skills as a fashion designer,
Mhm.
and then also take advantage of the resources and the mentors that they had at SCAD.
Mm. That's interesting. So when you went to SCAD, did you know then that you wanted to do high end wear, or did that come along with the process?
Always high end. So
High
I've
end,
always been
'cause
high end since the beginning.
right,
There's something about wanting something that you can't have or to be
right.
seen rather to be touched is
Mhm.
always like drilling in my head.
Mhm.
And I always think about the times when I was looking at like all of the beautiful women growing up, like the actress or even if you were a celebrity, it was like you can always see them, but you can never touch them. And they were always in
Right.
like couture.
Mhm.
They're in like the latest design. So no shade to anybody that doesn't do high end, but high end just fits me well.
Right. So with you being in New York, with you going to Paris and all over the world,
Hmm.
Atlanta has a very distinct fashion
Yeah.
lane,
Hmm.
right? You are not in the Atlanta fashion lane at all, to me, I would say.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
very high end. Like you're very New York, you're very like, do you get what I'm saying?
I
It's
get
a
what you're
difference.
saying. I do
So
love Atlanta. We'll put that
yeah,
there
let's love,
because
we all love Atlanta.
I
We're from
still
Atlanta.
love that I'm
Natives.
here and I'm able to
Right.
travel wherever I can when I
Right.
please.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say Atlanta is really good for the foundation.
Right.
I
Okay.
think
Mm-hmm.
anything that is a little bit more innovative, things that are going to be pushing the sense of fashion,
Right.
unfortunately, no.
Right.
Um, but yeah, being from Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
gives me the liberty to come home whenever I want to and have
Mm-hmm.
a safe space and know my support system is here.
Mm-hmm.
And then being able to travel to all the beautiful places is even better.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about New York? Like, do you want the company to be more New York based, or are you looking to stay in Atlanta?
Well, we're gonna always be Atlanta based.
Mm-hmm.
We may relocate in the
Mm-hmm.
future, but I think right now Atlanta does us very well.
Mm-hmm.
There is a weird moment right now in the fashion industry in New York. It's not
Right.
what it used to be when we were interning there, and it used
Right.
to be like this high level
Yeah.
energy type of thing.
Uh-huh.
But now it's kind of like a little
Oh.
overrated.
Yeah.
But I think they're trying to get things back together because I think
Mm-hmm.
when the pandemic happened, that kind of shifted everything that we knew about just like the fashion scene in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been trying to get back on the bandwagon, which has been like a moment for them.
Mm.
But to answer your
Interesting.
question, I think in the future we would relocate, but right now Atlanta fits us very well.
Good. Okay. Okay. How did the Suprema design competition further your career, and do you think that other fashion designers should compete in that competition?
Definitely. So the Supima Design Competition, Supima.
Supima. Supima, excuse me.
No, because love them to death.
Love them to death.
Um,
Love them to death.
it's a challenging competition. It's one of
Yeah.
those competitions to where you had to be one of the top students in your school in order to be represented by them. So at the time, they were doing 7 universities, so all the top 7 schools in the states of fashion. They will pull the top students there, and then you will compete for grand prize. You'll get the chance to show your collection at New York and Paris Fashion Week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was an amazing experience. It was challenging. I did it right after graduating from college, so I didn't really have that moment to take a break. So right after graduation, the next day, I was preparing for Supima. It's opened up a lot of doors for me. You know,
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people throughout that process. A lot of stylists that have helped my brand, or people within the business that have showed me the way to go. If that was business wise, that's opened doors up for us. So it's been a really amazing partnership with Supima. And I think any student that may consider doing it, you should do it. You just have to be ready for that, because it's not going to be like a regular type of project. You're literally your own designer, and you are the face of what you're going to produce that comes on the runway. So I always think about, like, if I had one more collection that I can make, what would that look like?
Right.
If I was never to make another collection again.
Okay, so let's talk about Roy.
All right.
The other half.
Yes.
Okay. When did you guys meet and how?
So we met our sophomore year in college.
Okay.
We both were in a class, the same class, but different times. Our professor was like, I have somebody that you should meet, because we were doing a project about unexpected beauty, and we both chose mode. So my professor was like, you should meet this guy. He's doing a project about mode too. And I was like, I'm okay. Like, I don't need to meet anybody else. Like, we'll just do projects and go about our business.
Right.
So eventually we met, and then we like hit it off from there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And when did you guys decide to go into business together? How did all of that come about?
It was a story. Okay, so we always thought about, like, being together all the time, because when we interned in New York, we stayed with each other like either every other weekend. He was in Harlem, I was in Brooklyn, and we was always together. We always said, like, if we were to ever do something together, it would be, but like, we trust each other, like we trust your aesthetic, like I know you can get the job done. So it was around the pandemic time, and he reached out to me. I think it was back in 2019 or 2020. He was like, hey, Jeofroi, would you consider, like, merging our brands together and starting a company? And I was like, I don't think so. Like, I'm doing good myself. Like, my sales are good. Like, my clientele here is good. Like, I'm at peace with everything. I said, that just sounds a little bit, like, crazy. Because you have this idea of, like, when you're a fashion designer, like, you want to be, like, your own person. Like, you never, I want to say never, but you really don't see too many duos together like that. So it was kind of scary to kind of think about. So I said, let me go home, pray about it, meditate on it. And I talked to my parents about it. And they were like, well, Jeofroi, like, you never know what it could be. Like, look into it. So then we started working together, and that formed Jeofroi.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's been fabulous ever since.
I know, I love y'all. Y'all are really, the chemistry is so good. Yeah. I love you guys together, so.
And I think it was because our friendship was very strong.
Yes.
I think we respected each other's aesthetic, as an artist, as a designer. There's never a time to where it's like either me or him, it's always both. You know, like if I come up with something, he enhances it, and vice versa.
Right. You guys are so talented.
Thank you.
I absolutely love that for you guys. So I know it hasn't been easy getting the business off the ground. I think that's probably the hardest thing, to get the momentum and to keep it. So what has marketing been like for you guys and getting everything off the ground?
So, I mean, like, that is a headache. For any, like, artist or any fashion designer starting from ground up, you know, it's a lot. You know, certain people say, like, just wake up and start your dream and it'll all come true, you know. Yeah. And
sounds good.
Yeah. But there's a lot of work and dedication that goes into that. And I think with us, we've been funding our brand since the beginning. You know, we don't have any backing from anybody. We have a good support system, our families, but other than that, we fund everything. So that goes to funding PR, that goes to funding sales, funding every collection, every showroom, anything that you see that Jeofroi does, we funded. And it's been, you know, it's been a journey. And I think that is one of the hardest things, because again, as an artist, you're not guaranteed a check, you know, the next day. You know, you can be in one day and you can be out the next day. So it's just like you have to have this like push and drive to know that some days it will be down and some days it will be up. But because we have each other, I think that's what really makes the brand Jeofroi.
Yeah. So do you think that social media plays a really big part in some of the marketing that
Sure, it's like
place?
Free social media, but I think nowadays social media is kind of like paid advertisement now. It's not what it used to be. So we've done, you know, a few promotions, partnerships with Instagram, and it just doesn't read as much when we don't do it. We get more attention when we are not affiliated with trying to do like type of paid moments with Instagram. Versus like now, we'll just post something and it does really good. Yeah.
More organic content. That makes sense. Okay. Who was your first celebrity client?
My very first celebrity client was Marina Baccarin.
Mm.
I believe so, yeah. She wore one of my pieces for my senior collection.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I think that, yeah. Sorry, there's been so many.
Hey, I have a lot now. I gotta remember.
But I
Yeah.
think our very first celebrity client was Jeofroi, would
Yes.
be Radha Muhammad.
Okay.
So she was the editor-in-chief of Vogue Scandinavia, and they did their first issue, and they chose one of our pieces.
What?
Yeah.
That was a big moment
Yeah,
for you
it
guys.
was.
I love that.
Thank you.
So, talking about celebrities,
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about Sherri Shepherd.
We love her.
T, love her. I love her down. Let's talk about that moment.
Okay.
Let's talk about how that happened, what it felt like to see your piece come to life on TV.
Yeah.
It was a moment. It was such a beautiful piece, and she's such a beautiful, her energy is so big.
Yeah.
So beautiful, and the dress matched just that.
Thank you.
So, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so pretty much as I said before, PR, we do ourselves.
Right.
So with that being said, we're sending like 50 emails out daily to different stylists, to different people that are in that group with people that we want to dress. Like, hi, like we're Jeofroi, like we'd love to create a moment with you, this, that, and the third. But we met her stylist at 2 fashion events in New York, and we kind of stayed connected there. He told us, he was like, I have a moment that's coming up. I don't know what that looks like, but I would love to see Sherri and Jeofroi. And we're like, okay, just let us know when. And then beginning of the year, he reached out and he was like, I have the perfect moment. So we started gearing up. We sent her over sketches. We did a private fitting with her. She selected the color. She had a beautiful shoe, like the yellow that she saw. She was like, I want a dress to match this shoe. So it was like, we got you. So we went finding the perfect fabrication. She fell in love with it. And then next thing you know, she walked out in it. Yes.
It was like,
I screamed. I don't know if you saw like my post. I was like screaming.
I was like, it is the perfect moment and the perfect person. Like,
thank you.
Everything was just so beautifully put together. It was T.
Yeah, like to the details. We wanted it to be a perfect fit. You know, I think one thing about fashion design, you have to know proportions. And I know a lot of people don't really understand proportions because that's really going to help out the silhouette. That's going to make you look even better than you've ever looked in your life. So knowing the proportion, knowing your clients, knowing their body is really going to help enhance that look.
Yes.
And I think that's something that we strive for at Jeofroi.
Yes, that was good.
Thank you.
That was good. Okay, so last question I have for you.
Okay.
To date, what has been the most challenging thing about pursuing your fashion designer dream? This career that you have, what has been the toughest challenge that you are now, before, now, and, overcoming? What is that?
I would say just the normal chant that I say in my head every day, like, it's going to happen. And I think, as I said before, as an artist, you never know what tomorrow holds. It's not a guaranteed type of job. It's not a guaranteed type of industry. So I have a fantasy that I create in my head on a daily basis that keeps me going. It's like, if I don't do it, then what am I doing? So I think me constantly being determined and pushing myself and driving has been one of the challenging things, but it's rewarding in the end. Because again, you never know what door may open up when you are constantly pushing yourself.
I know that's right. I love that. And I am so proud of you because I've seen where it started. High school, cutting out holes in shirts, cutting out sides in shirts, making me little outfits, making my baby shower dress.
Listen.
So what advice do you have for emerging fashion designers wanting to make it in this industry?
Definitely have a support system because I think that's going to take you a long way.
Yeah.
But I think just find your lane, find exactly what type of fashion you want to do, stick to it, trust your gut. If someone tells you it's not going to work out, continue to push. Understand the business side of fashion because I think also going to a school of fashion, they don't really teach you that. So maybe taking a little business courses if you have the time to do that to kind of enhance your business. And just going with the flow. It may not always go the way that you want it to go, but understand that change has to happen in order for growth to come out of that. So I think just continue to go for the ride.
We go way, way back, and I am so proud of you because I literally saw the transition to where you are now, and it's just like, you worked so hard for it.
Thank you. And a lot to come.
A lot to come.
Yes.
I know that's right.
Yes.
Well, I love you, and thank you so much for taking the time to sitting down with us. I love that. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Of course.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Shentertainment, making it in the ATL. We'll see you next time.
No, I didn't work this hard for nothing. First I did it for me, now they keep it 100. I do it to look clean, I do it for the love, and I do it all to show the homies we can have what we wanted. And now I'm chilling in the mansion with a glass of champagne. Not the cheap stuff, but I cannot drop names. Little private plane when I'm flying out to Vegas.